Welcome to the next episode of Topic and Tantrums. I'm just joking. Yes, welcome to Topics and Tantrums podcast with your hosts, Gabs and Dan. How are you, Gabs?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Today's topic is aliens, UFOs. Are they fact or are they fiction? Insert music. In this huge universe where we can't even see past our own galaxy yet, why can't there be life like us? Is it so hard to believe that humans are the only ones to make it this far? I believe, I believe that somewhere out there in this vast cosmos, there is life. But are they among us? I think they're visited. It's a stretch, but why not? Surely there's something reliable in this conspiracy that aliens exist. What are your thoughts, Gabs? Do you believe in little green men, anal probing rednecks in Arizona? Take it away.
I don't know how I feel about little green men, anal probing rednecks in Arizona, but I will tell you what I do know. Well, I don't know, but I believe
Okay.
we're a very small speck in this very massive and expansive universe. Surely to God, there's something else out there. There's been UFO sightings and people all over the world claiming to have seen an alien or been abducted by otherworldly creatures and all of that jazz. Sure, we might not believe some of those people because, the lies and the stories are made up few and far between. But I think we'd be wrong to not believe and investigate when majority of people's stories do have a lot of similarities and a lot of stuff matching up about how things happened and how things came to be. So do I
Okay.
believe? I believe.
You believe that we have aliens.
I believe we have aliens.
Fantastic. We agree and we can continue with this podcast. So
Exactly.
let's lead into what this conspiracy is. Do you know much about Area 51? Have
I
you heard of it?
mean, I have heard of it. And what I knew of it prior to actually doing, like, I've watched a lot of documentaries about this shit. How much of it actually stays in my brain? Not much, because I watched a lot
Okay,
of shit. But
true.
I remember on Facebook, shit blowing up. I don't know how long ago it was. Everyone was going to storm Area 51 in America.
Oh
Yeah. And
That
that
was
is when,
fun. Yeah,
yeah, that's when I started getting interested in it. And that's when I started
okay,
doing a little bit more research on it.
yeah,
So I know a little bit about it, but I'm sure you know more. So tell me about it.
okay. So let's go back in time. We'll start talking about Roswell.
Mhm.
So instead of boring you with 20 paragraphs of information that is just jargon, let's just jump to the key points. So Roswell is a town situated in the United States, in near New Mexico. There's been so many theories, there's so many documentaries, there's so many movies, there's books, docos, everything. They reckon that a flying saucer crashed at Roswell. The army went out there, captured a flying saucer and an alien body, took it back to Area 51, where they've like researched on it and have all this weaponry, all this stuff, and all of a sudden there's this massive alien conspiracy that has just withstood the test of time. That these two areas are just synonymous with alien activity.
So what I'm hearing from that is, the army or the military, whoever it was, they grabbed this saucer, flying saucer, and the little
Mhm.
green man. And what I'm hearing is they're experimenting on them. So I'm thinking maybe we don't have little green men probing rednecks. Maybe we have rednecks probing little green men. But tell me more.
Ooh, yeah, that's an interesting theory. So very quickly, the United States government said this didn't happen. It was a weather balloon. Nothing sus happened. But like every gossip magazine, every paper, everything's printed. They found something. And
Mhm.
since then, since 1947, even before that, you look at the states, there are so many UFO sightings, it's unreal. And there's so many things of the government coming across saying, oh no, that was a fucking weather balloon. Oh no, that was the light retracting off Venus and you can't see it anymore. So many different conspiracies about this. But the
Mhm.
point is to it, why?
Mhm.
Why? And you've got this. little army base in the middle of the desert that everyone knows about, like you just said. They were planning on storming an army base.
Mhm.
That doesn't make sense.
No, it
That's the
makes very
last
little
place.
sense.
It's the last place in the world, like where you would go storm somewhere. Like if I wanted to go storm Parliament House in Canberra, 50-50 shot. But where you're going to a country where they actually like to shoot people for no particular reason, don't go protesting in those areas. Don't try and
Don't go
force yourself onto
protesting.
a military air base. It's not going
Don't
to happen.
protest. Don't protest in a country where it's legal to carry a gun. Don't do
That's
it.
another key point. All right. These guys are not going to muck around. I'm pretty sure one of those generals said, if you protest or you get onto the airbase, we're going to shoot you. It's
I'm
not
pretty
a good
sure.
idea. It is not a good idea. I think the little green man hiding in the little basement down there, he doesn't want to be seen. He don't want to come out. Leave it alone.
Exactly. Don't try there. It seems a little suspicious to me, if I'm going to be honest. Like, why would you hide your alien collection at the most secretive place in the world, coming second to North Korea, of course?
Yeah.
Um, if you're really trying to hide secrets, fair point. Like, hide them where the general eyes of the public can't see. But it's also, to me, one of the stupidest fucking places because people will constantly be trying to attempt to gain entry and talk shit about it.
There's guys, right? They will sit where you can sit close to Area 51 with huge, huge telescopic cameras taking photos of this base and the aircraft that come in and out.
Are you serious?
I am dead set serious. It's a thing. Like the what do you call them? I can't remember the actual name of the aircraft, but like the stealth ones. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
seen them? They're like the triangle shaped ones.
Heard of.
When they first came out, these photographers were taking photos of them. They're like a secret Air Force plane that's supposed to like help the US military, and people are fucking taking photos of them.
Don't do
I'm
that.
pretty sure, but like seriously, if you're going to hide an alien spacecraft, I'm sure someone with a camera is going to get a picture of it.
Yeah. They like that's where I'm really questionable about it. I've seen so many photos and videos of people visiting Area 51 and trying to get as close as possible to the facility. And like this guy, right? Like you're you're breaching security issues here. Don't do that for one. Two, you're gonna be stopped and removed by the military. I mean, if people were trying to get into my government facility, um, that's only accessible in terms of general access by the knowledge by people who are employed there, I'd be pissed off too. I'd be stopping people without second thoughts either. And like, I have seen so many people like out there testing the soil and debris and have found
Yeah.
in like multiple samples and shit like that that would be unconventional to be made and used by people across the world that we know at crash sites, like supposed crash sites and what like that. It can really make you question a lot. But as as someone who would be working there, I'd be pissed as shit. And I mean, I'm not one for guns. But
Hmm.
if you were trying to break into my hood and get my green friend, I'd be willing to shoot your ass too.
It's not happening. Seriously.
No,
But like, well, what do you think, Gavs? Like, do you think that this military base, which is essentially an Air Force base, do you think it's like this secret laboratory where there's alien bodies and spaceships?
I don't know. I feel like I can really see both sides of this. Like, yes, it's secretive. And there have been a few former employees who have broken their silence about what they've seen behind the closed doors of Area 51. Also, anywhere that you get removed and turned away by the military, it seems like they're really hiding something. Like, on the other hand, it could just be a government facility that tests military grade equipment that's not only one, very dangerous, but
Yeah.
two, is in a secured and private facility. And as I said before, if people were constantly trying to get in or even close to what was going on there, I would be pissed off too, especially if nothing is going on there and you're just actually trying to keep people safe.
Yeah. Like, it's not safe. Don't come here.
Exactly. Like I can really
Military
see
stuff
both
happening.
sides.
You could get killed. Stay away. The little green man is like over there.
Exactly. Like you're on the wrong side of it. And I see the point where it's like, on one hand, very, very sus. They're escorting people off,
Mm.
they're making sure nobody goes there. But on the other hand, it's like, this has been happening for years. I get why they're mad. If nothing's
Yeah.
going on there, I get it.
So you can see like the conspiracy growing as why is it so secretive? Why can't we go have a look? Are the little green men in there? But at the same
Mhm.
time, maybe not. But this then introduces Bob Lazar. Have you heard of him?
I've heard a little bit about him, and I've heard a lot more about him in the recent times that I've been researching for this episode.
Okay,
Prior, I think I had maybe watched something about him or heard his name in passing, but not much about it.
let's have a little talk. So I will link the documentary about Bob Lazar when we post this podcast up. Give it a watch. Let me know what you think. But so this Bob Lazar dude is a scientist, and he claims that he worked at Area 51 or one of the little bases around it, and actually seen alien spacecraft. Okay, he worked on them. He went inside them. He's seen bodies. He was working out how they actually fueled these things and how they actually moved. He eyewitness seen the U.S. government operating one of these spaceships. Holy
Hmm.
shit. Like, what the fuck, right? Now, to make a twist in the subject even worse, since he now left there and has come out with all of this sort of stuff, he's been erased from history. The FBI raid him or CIA raid him every 6 months or something because supposedly he took the fuel, this little element, away from the base and they reckon he's got it and there's this mad clusterfuck to go and find it. But as I said, they've erased his work history, his education, totally just wiped him from everything. But this
Mhm.
guy just stands there and says, "It's so true. The world needs to wake up." He hasn't taken a cent from any story. Every person has to drag him on to talk about it. Surely someone that is so invested and does not doing this for the fame. Surely is there truth to this story? Do you think that's believable?
I don't know. Like, do you have any belief that it could purely be for attention and media presence? Granted, I believe what he has to say. And I can't see why someone would go to the extent that he's gone to just make shit up if it's not true. I mean, I don't see
Mm,
why you'd do that.
mm.
But you do have to ask yourself those sorts of questions when it is a point for skeptics to make that it could purely be for media attention. Even though he's not taking a sense of any payment for anything that he's done, it's just like, could it just be to get his name in the public eye?
Oof. See, I thought that. I thought that when I first saw the whole thing about it. Then I listened to him on Joe Rogan podcast, and the guy that he was with literally had to drag him on there and say, "Look, you need to talk about it." And it's like, if someone has to drag you onto a set to talk about it, surely there's a bit of believability to it.
Hmm.
Um, but then you start, like, you see him, he's a bit of a crackpot, realistically. Like, he used to make rocket cars. He had a rocket car in his garage. And here's this dude
Yeah.
claiming that he worked on spacecraft. But then you listen to these stories he has about walking into Area 51 and the way that he scanned in and all these sort of things. And been it's been made true. Everyone knows that this is how you get in there and that person worked here and all this sort of stuff. And it's like, well, which way do you believe?
Yeah, it's
I
hard
don't
to
know,
not
but
believe him
like
at that point.
it's hard because you want to give him credibility. And he's, if you listen to his story and you just believe everything he said, you must believe in aliens. You have to believe in aliens.
Yeah,
And you
with
must believe this
listening to
conspiracy
him.
is true.
Yeah, with listening to him, it is very hard to turn away from those podcasts and everything, like the podcasts, the documentaries, everything that's about him, all the shows that he's been on. After listening to his story, it's very hard to turn away and just be like, nah.
Yeah. I don't know, but give the documentary a watch. I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. You can find so much stuff on YouTube about him. But it's interesting that this one guy that actually supposedly worked there does say that it's true, but everyone else is like, that's not true. So it's like conflicting stories again. But
Yeah.
as we're talking about conflicting stories and that, I remember that you told me about something about these sightings in the USA that you wanted to bring up that you saw a
Yeah.
while ago.
So I can't remember where exactly I saw it, but someone listening might know something about it and might be able to help us out with locating some sort of evidence about this so I know I'm not going crazy. I think it was last year or the year before. I was watching something that was showing footage that was captured by like 30 plus people who had no ties or links to each other that were sprayed across Australia. Not Australia, America.
Mm.
All different states, just scattered randomly. Everyone was recording a group of unidentified flying objects that were below cloud level. And by below cloud level, I'm talking like just above buildings. And not like, I'm not talking like, I don't know heights of American buildings. I'm not talking like where King Kong's hanging. I'm talking like maybe above like a few meters above a pizza joint that's in New
Yeah,
York
yeah, yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I'm not talking crazy heights. I'm talking like pretty
A
low.
three-story building. Yeah.
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 And all of the videos were recorded on the same day. And of course, like through America, different states have different time zones, but it was all linear time that it was all captured and
Mm.
recorded. And this happened multiple times across a time span of like a few months. When you have that many people on the same day, on the same time, over a span of months, telling the same story with video footage, with video evidence, how can you question whether it was real? And like on after that all got brought up, it scientists, the military, the defense force, everyone in America came out and stated that they did not conduct any sort of testing, nothing like that on the day. And that the stuff was witnessed, that they also, a few military and scientists did also witness this with their own eyes, said that they had no idea what those objects could be, and that their best guess would be unidentified flying objects, that they had no reasoning for being there. Thoughts?
Mm. That's a bit crazy. My thing with that, right? Although I searched hard and wide to find
Mm-hmm,
something about this story that you were telling me about, I couldn't find shit all.
mm-hmm,
But I believe you because you don't lie. But well, my thing is, if you find people, so 30 different people
mm-hmm.
that have video footage of something like that, shouldn't it be more investigated and like blown up out of proportion? Everyone would know about it.
I'm pretty sure, and that's why it baffles me that I can't find anything about it. And like I tried for a solid few days to find something about this. And I also
Mm.
asked Martel because he was watching it with me. And I'm not absolutely certain, but I'm pretty sure this was blown up in Australia more than it was in America where it actually happened. And I
Oh, okay.
think the first time I saw it, it might have been a news report. And it wasn't like just like the nightly 6 o'clock news. It was like
60 minutes or something.
no, no, no. Like, you know how like we have the 11 o'clock COVID update with Gladys. And
Oh, so it's like breaking news sort of thing.
yeah, it was like breaking news, updates in
Oh, shit.
America, we're coming live.
Yeah,
Um,
right.
and then there was like 2 nights later, there was like a 60 minutes episode on it. And it wasn't like a 60 minutes episode that I found on YouTube from like 2 years ago. It was literally like a week later max. It was weird.
Yeah,
And
that
I'm
is
really mad that I
strange.
can't find anything about it. So if someone listening just even knows what I'm talking about, please say
Yeah.
something. I'm not crazy.
It's weird because like if you can't find those videos, that sort of means like they've been deleted or it's gone
Mm,
away sort of thing. I find especially now with social media, if there's only a few years ago, like social media is still pretty strong, that if something happens like that, there's like 6 different angles
yeah.
of that particular video. And we might venture into it down late in another podcast, but I have a big problem when people are video recording UFOs, Bigfoot, things like that. The video starts and it's halfway through the video and then it cuts.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the full thing. Like when I record something that's cool in front of me, I've got my phone, like I might miss the first bit, right? But I've got it out. And you will hear me talking over the video going, holy fuck, look at that. Or, like
Yeah.
there's commentary. All these things, there's no commentary.
That's what I found really interesting about all of these videos because in the news it was kind of scattered from person to person recording, and their video footage that they had. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, but nobody's like, you're seeing like 5 seconds of this person and 20 seconds of this person and whatever. And I'm like, but you're not getting anything that flows. And then in the 60 minutes episode, they showed like a 5-minute video that was one person who was like out doing the gardening and her husband was mowing the lawn, and she's turned around and going, "What the fuck? Get your phone!" And they've
Mm.
recorded the entire thing
Oh
from when it
shit.
disappears,
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
showing like full videos of people, and like some were shown in the same state, just different people in the same state recording the same thing from a different angle, and it was really interesting to see that everything lined up perfectly. And all of these people, like they went through and showed emails of this person sending this and the time that it's been sent in, and where they've sent it from, and their story about it and how they noticed it. And then they're getting interviews with these people, and they're showing full videos of this recording and not anything that's cut. It's full videos of, and you can see like people's hands are shaking when they're recording, and you can hear the commentary, and the kids are coming out and they're going, "Get inside," or, "Oh my god, can you see this? Are you seeing this?" And they turn around and
Yeah.
record
Yeah.
someone else, and that person jumps in front of the camera and goes, "It's this day, it's this time, this is where we are you seeing this shit?" And it's like, wild. Where is it gone? Why is it no longer
Can't
on the
find it.
internet? Why can't I find it?
I must have gone through like 100 UFO sighting videos and articles and everything. I cannot find what you're talking about.
I'm
But
telling
what
you,
you're telling
I
me,
will
the
put
net
more time in. I will find it.
it never came out like with a logical excuse to this thing, like whether it was like a weather balloon or experimental
No,
aircraft or meteorite. It was just like, oh
nothing.
my god, there's aliens, and then this whole article has just disappeared.
Yeah. So all the scientists, all the military, all the defense force, all stated no testing was done on that day. We were nowhere near that place. There is no logical explanation for this. We have no reason to think that this is anything explainable. No clue. Good luck. Bye bye.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is
So if you know
crazy
what I'm
that
talking about,
videos like that. Yeah.
if
Let
anyone
us
out
know.
there
I want
knows
to
what I'm
see.
talking about, please let us know. And if
Let
someone does tell us,
us
like
know.
if someone has any information about this stuff, we will post it on social media.
Yes, we'll spread the word.
Yeah.
We will become those crackpot conspiracy
Yeah.
theorists. So we're talking about videos that we couldn't find, but we found a good video. Well, I found a good video and I linked it to you.
Mhm.
We'll call it the Tic Tac video
Mhm.
for argument's sakes. Um, so I will we'll link this video up for our podcast listeners to have a look at in their spare time. It is a 60 minutes little snippet,
Mhm.
and they are interviewing US Navy pilots who have come across UFOs.
Mhm.
Again, where has this all been hidden for so long?
And why is it not common knowledge?
Like, if you never watch 60 minutes or you haven't trolled through YouTube for 15 minutes, you would be so unaware of what's going on in the world.
100%.
So, as we are talking about before, for those videos that like seem unrealistic,
Mhm.
this video is insane. So, for anyone who hasn't watched it and can't be bothered watching it and just wants me to explain it, the video we're talking about is that there are US Navy pilots doing their little drills going through over the ocean, and they get a ping on their radar saying that there's something so many kilometers in front of them. So they go to investigate, and here is this cylinder tic tac looking machine flying in the water.
And what I got from this video as well, from watching it, was not only were these people trained to do like their test flights and all that stuff, and Army, Navy, whatever it was that they were trained to do, they were also trained to identify other aircrafts like for security reasons. So
Yeah.
they know what another plane looks like that's from an international or national sector. They know what they're looking at. They can identify the type of plane it is and what country it would be coming from and the type of aircraft. And they know what weather balloons and everything like that looks like. They see them on a daily basis. They know what it looks like.
Mm.
And this
Yeah.
shit
Well,
was
you got to
just
know. You
not
got to
it.
know that's a Russian pilot coming towards me, and I got to be careful. Well, that's a Chinese dude, or that's a North Korean,
Exactly.
or whatever it may be. You need to know. So these dudes are flying. They get to this tic tac thing. They're circling around. This thing moves not like a plane. It doesn't have exhaust plumes. It doesn't have wings. It's just whizzing around.
Mhm.
The camera can't lock onto it. Then all of a sudden it locks onto it, and then you get the vision of it, and it just goes whoosh straight off the camera. Now you're talking. I think they're flying what F-18 Tomcats or something.
Yeah.
If you ever seen a jet aircraft, like a fighter plane, take off or whack it at full speed, go look one up. You cannot catch these freaking things. They are insanely fast. And this Tic Tac thing blows it out of the water.
Yeah.
That is not from Earth. Nothing moves like that.
Not only that, but when they're explaining how this Tic Tac was moving, right? Like they lock onto it again and try and get as close as possible to this thing. And they like the pilot comes down and the Tic Tac floats up almost till they're nose to nose with each other. And we're talking
Mm,
big distances. And then once they lock on nose to nose, they're all questioning. There's two pilots in each plane, and they're all like, there's four of them, like two planes, four pilots. And they're like, are you seeing this shit? And they all see this shit. And then it literally just disappears before their eyes. It doesn't whiz away. It doesn't, go up, go down, go left, go right. It just vanishes.
yeah. And then it's like I think it's like 60K down the road, or down, I say down the road, but across, the ship that they're attending to picks it up on the radar. 60 in a matter of seconds. It's 60 kilometers down the road. Nothing is that quick. Now I
No.
said a jet plane is quick. Nothing is that quick. This screams out there's something else.
100%, and it's not in this world. I agree, not only with what you're saying, but when you've got multiple people who are trained to recognize and identify aircrafts, they know what they're fucking talking about. And I don't know, and like to have them say, I don't know what this was. And I went through the process of elimination and still came up with nothing. I had no idea what this was. You've got to believe that what they saw was otherworldly. It was not
Now,
normal.
we've both said that we're believers in this. So when I sent you this video and I said, look, watch it, message me what you think. So I sort of know where you're going, but I want to ask you now, when you watched this for the first time and you saw that thing pulling off the radar scope as
Mhm.
you see it, and you see that Navy pilot and he's sitting there and he's saying, it ain't from Earth. I ain't ever seen anything like that. What does that make you think as like a first time viewer on that?
I'm gonna be honest, it didn't really change my opinion of what I thought because I'm a strong believer.
Mm,
But it did make me like it wasn't like a holy shit, wow. Like it was more so like you've got like there's so much evidence out there, and this just adds to it. It's someone so high up that should be so like highly regarded, and he's saying clear as day, this is what I saw. Other people witnessed it. They've got another pilot on. She says, yep, I agree. We're both telling the same story. We both saw the same thing.
and there's
How
video
the
to
fuck can
prove it.
anyone, yeah, how can anyone not believe it?
And it's not like what do you call it? Like an old Nokia phone video of like a blurry vision in that. It's a freaking radar system that's supposed to pick up enemy aircraft. Like
Yeah,
it's intelligent. It's an intelligent camera. It knows what to pick up and what to take out. It shows what you're flying against. How can you not argue that there's something else there?
100%. And not just the fact, like, I get that people might look at it and go, I don't know what I'm looking at. Like, not everyone knows what they're seeing when they see video footage like that. And it's not like
Mm.
you can see what it looks like. It's not this flying saucer or anything like that.
No, it's a
But
tic
it's
tac. It's
like,
legit a tic tac.
yeah, but it's like when you see the speed that this shit's moving and a fighter aircraft can't even keep up with that speed on a camera that's
Mm.
made to do that. What the fuck? And like, it's not even that. You can hear the audio of the pilots talking at the same time. And you're like, this shit cannot be made up. There is no way that a military aircraft that is made to do this can make up that bullshit.
Yeah.
It
And,
can't happen.
oh look, when I first watched that, like as we both said, firm believer. I understand that it could be life out there, and I saw this
Mhm.
thing take off with like no issue whatsoever from a standing point. That's breaking the rules of
Everything.
aerodynamics, isn't it? Like
Yeah, pretty much everything.
so obviously we're at a loss here.
Mhm.
I don't get it. Watch the video. Tell us what you think. Come onto the bandwagon of a believer. If this
And
doesn't
if you're
do it,
not a
I don't know what
believer,
can.
if you're not a believer, I know someone who's not a believer, and I've had a very short conversation with her. If she's
Really?
listening, I'm not going to call her out, but if you are listening,
Ooh.
you know who you are. I know who you are. I don't disagree with your judgment. I like your stance on it. If you're willing to talk about it on the podcast, I will have you on. We welcome
Yes. Yes. Let's have a tantrum, please.
you. Let Daniel have a tantrum, please.
Oh, it's what I'm good at, so why not? So we'll move on to our little next subject of what we believe in. Now, we had a discussion about this last night, and I must say,
Yeah.
I went to bed and I was like, oh my God, that's so many theories running through my brain. But I would like to know what your theory is with aliens around Mars. What has
Mhm.
Mars got to do with your belief system? Belief system is probably the wrong word, but your belief in UFOs and aliens. Please tell us.
So last night's conversation was a little bit scrambled and all over the place, and we came up with about 50 different theories based off the one theory in
Oh, it
conversation.
did branch off. Yeah, it
Oh,
did.
yeah.
But yeah.
So I've narrowed it down to what I believe is like the firmest of them all. And one that I've actually had conversations based off before, not of my own bringing up, but of someone else's bringing up. And I've just been involved with it. So I have a theory. It's common thought, as I said. We know that Mars has certain aspects that are similar to Earth and could be habitable by humans. Science has told us that, you know, whoever's traveled there has told us that the Mars rover has given us, yep, shit that says, yep, there's this here, there's that here, there's proof of life.
Yeah.
What if aliens used Mars to try to recreate Earth, per se, and while studying us, to try and figure us out a little bit? Like we know that, you know, like let's just say aliens have been circling Earth for a while. They've seen that we have water that houses bacteria and all of that type of shit. I'm not going to get into it because I get into it a little bit later. But if they try to recreate our habitat to see and just kind of get an idea of what it is about and how we maintain in our own habitat, and they use Mars to try and recreate that. They got their answers, they fucked off, whatever it was, they left it. And that is why we've gone there now and have, you know, done some research on it. And it seems habitable to us because every other place we've been to in space is completely uninhabitable to us. There's no chance
Yeah.
we'd ever be able to be habitable there. Why is this
Mars is the
one?
closest.
Yeah, why is this one a little bit? It's weird. It's weird.
So it's like they've already started terraforming it, but they gave up on it.
Even maybe they didn't give up. Maybe we just went there and interrupted.
See,
Yeah,
this theory is quite deep.
it is quite deep because, like, before we started actually recording this podcast, we had a conversation again, and you brought up, like, you know, people saying that they've been abducted and probed and this and that and have been taken for study. Maybe they were taken to Mars. Who knows? Maybe that's where they were taken to be studied and whatever, whatever. Who knows? Because a lot of people,
Yeah.
after you said that, I did go and do a bit of research, and a lot of people who say they've been abducted by aliens describe going to another planet or somewhere else. And they say that as they're going up or as they're in the place, there is a glow of red. We all know that Mars is red.
The red planet. Could be onto something.
Who knows?
It's not a bad theory. It's very dark city. Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't.
Let's summarize it really abruptly. So aliens take humans, put them on this flying spaceship, and they're pretty much experimenting on them, analyzing them, fucking with their heads, and trying to work out what makes us individuals and our souls and all this sort of stuff. It's seriously a very underrated film. Go watch it. But it does link to your theory that there's something there watching us, you know, use Mars as their little base
Mhm.
to come have a look and all these sort of things. But what are they looking for? You know, go to all these probe ideas as well. They're trying to work out what it is a human. Quite interesting. But I like that idea. Like on the dark side of Mars, there's like this alien colony just chilling there, and they've got like little labs and everything, and these little drones and UFOs have been sending out, and they're just checking up, and they just get caught out when we find them.
Yeah. And like that's what I mean. Earth would probably been like nowhere similar to where an alien has been or experienced or witnessed, really. So while studying us, they noticed that we had water, they had we had liquids, and they all grow bacteria and whatnot and make our immune systems either weaker, stronger, whatever. Maybe they use Mars, as I said, as an attempt to recreate to see how they would be able to survive in this habitat before actually even coming to Earth. Who knows? Like I said before, maybe they gave up. Maybe we interrupted them. Maybe they got their answers and just fucked off and left Mars as close to the way they found it as possible before we went and did what we did. Who knows?
Would it be unreal that, like, because we know that Elon Musk wants to go to Mars,
Yes.
colonize
Where
us there and all that sort of
doesn't
stuff.
Elon Musk want to go?
Oh well, he's a genius. How weird would it be if we got there and like we went over a mountain and then you see like
A colony.
civilization, like a colony? Like, would you shit your pants right there and then, or would it be like, oh, shit, we need to leave?
You know what I would say if that's what it came to? In like 20 years' time, or I don't care how long into the future it is, if that ever happened, I would turn around and go, excuse me, you need to listen to a podcast that is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and Castbox, and can be found at Topics and Tantrums. You have to listen to the recording that was recorded on what, the 30th of July, and was posted on this day. Because
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, we started this shit. Maybe Elon Musk went there prior. Maybe he heard this podcast. Who fucking knows? Maybe he went there and built a colony and then traveled there and was like, oh, would you look at this? I found it. No, honey, we thought of it.
We'll take credit on that one. It's like,
Exactly.
oh man, it's so crazy. But like, if you believe in the Tic Tac, you believe in what Bob Lazar said, you believe in that story where we saw all these sightings around the US, and there's so much visual proof. Why not?
Realistically, when you're on the conversation that we're on at the moment with UFOs and aliens, anything that you think of really is possible. Like there really isn't a limit to anything that you can really think of about this stuff. And it doesn't even need to be a factual opinion or based on anyone else. It could be your own fucking opinion that you've pulled out of your ass. If
Oh, you can make up the
realistic, yeah,
weirdest crackpot stuff with
100%.
this, honestly. Yeah.
And someone
But it's
out
a
there will
great
believe
chat. It's a
you.
great chat. It's
It's
always
such a
good
good
because you
talk.
can just go off on a tangent and people will get lost and then they'll hitch on an idea and they'll just keep on going with it.
Exactly, because nothing has ever really been set in stone. We know nothing. Nothing has been set in stone. So literally, if you ever want to have a conversation about aliens and UFOs, we got you. We will talk to you for literally hours. You can bring up anything you want, make up any theory, and we will follow along with you and make something up as well.
You know what? Think of a theory, DM us. Let's hash it out. I don't care how
Yeah.
far fetched it is. I want to know some weird crackpot theories. I'll have
Yeah.
like 6 people on this podcast and theorize every single one of them, and we'll see which one is the best one.
100%. And because we're us and we know a lot of people out there, and I'm sure we've got a lot of connections. I'm sure we know a few people in science. I don't know about you, but off the top of my head, I know at least 3 people that I can think of who work in science and science labs.
Bring them on.
If we want to get like to the basis of this shit and we want to get some scientists on here, we will see what you can do. We will work it out for you.
Science, bitch. Let's do it. Let's bring it on.
Exactly.
Love
As I
it.
said in one of our other episodes on Cinematic Obsessed, I like science, bitch.
Okay. So next, let's try and bring this all together. Gabby, is it
Yeah.
a conspiracy or is it bullshit?
So I don't think that anyone would be able to change my mind at this point in thinking that something else or some other life form is out there and exists. I don't think they walk among us. They possibly have visited a couple times. I'm not going to say like, you know, they've been here a bunch of times or they walk beside us or the Queen's a little lizard person who's an alien. But maybe they've given us a visit at some point, but they have to be out there watching us, studying us, and waiting.
So have the world governments covered this up in your mind then?
I think so. Even if it wasn't like I'm using, bunny ears while I'm saying this, even if it wasn't covered up per se, but more so not explained or looked into to hide what they know to be the truth. And I feel like America has the biggest play in that also. A lot of countries have experienced encounters, abductions, sightings, but everywhere except America seems to embrace it and plays with the idea, in my opinion. Like I've been to South America and have been to like the Atacama Desert. You go into
Mhm.
any store there, anywhere, and like they're like in the top 5 countries or places to witness sightings and UFOs. Every single person there has a story to tell, and they are not shy about it at all. And
Yeah,
they're not in fear; they embrace. And then comes America, waving their flag, and it's just it is kicking off, and rednecks are mad.
yeah. Okay. It's I like that thought. Um, I do believe that there's something out there. I can't be naive to think that we're the only species to be intelligent to have made it this far in the universe. Like I get the odds. It's insane for us to make it this far.
Yeah.
But how big is space? It's like cool. She don't quote me, but I think it's like 94 billion light years or something. It's a big amount of space, man. You're telling me that there's nothing else there that has intelligent mind like us that can think for itself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems a bit far fetched. But look, there are a lot of theories saying that we are it. We were just that lucky micronism that just expanded and got to this stage, and that's it. We are
Mm.
empty. We are alone. That's it. I don't think so. I think surely out there, there's something else has survived, has found the way, whether it's
Mm.
humanoid, gaseous, or a squid.
I think that's like realistically, if that's the way people are going to look at it, that we are it. We are the only ones who got this far. I don't know about everyone else, but that kind of makes me a little bit sad.
It is, isn't
Like
it?
there's
That
nothing. Like you think about it in a way, like currently we're in COVID. We know that. We're in a lockdown. It sucks. Like Melbourne's just had like what, their 5th lockdown or 6th lockdown, and we're heading in the same direction. And we're still surrounded by family and friends and support and everything like that. If we like to think that we are just this one very small speck in, as I said earlier, a very expansive universe, galaxy, like everything, stratosphere, atmosphere, all of it. That is really sad that we could be the only ones. Like we're a speck in this whole place. And to think that we are the only ones, that's so sad.
it makes us the lonely planet, doesn't it?
It makes me feel lonely.
Yeah. We are so special but insignificant at the same time is mind-boggling. Does things to your
Exactly.
brain. Um, if there is this conspiracy by the government to have locked all this information away and limit the things that we can see, um, is there a reason for it? Are they really trying to protect us from being like going insane and thinking, oh my God, are totally lonely, or the next day aliens going to come down and abduct me?
I mean, I doubt it. Like, I don't know about everyone else, but like, I'm pretty sure majority of the world at the moment aren't too pleased with the government at the moment, no matter what country you're in.
Yeah. Look, there are a lot of things happening at the moment. There's a lot of things saying that the government's going to be start releasing information, especially the American government,
Yeah,
trying to declassify documents and all these sort of things. Um, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, let's see
we'll
what
find out.
happens down the line. But as you were saying about being the lonely planet and we're reaching further out, what happens if that one day we do find something and it's for real? What happens? Um, Stephen Hawking made a comment about it, and
Hmm.
he did a comparison with the Native Americans. That when Christopher Columbus came, found the Native Americans, what happened? It didn't end well for them.
Hmm.
If we find out that billions of light years away, there's another alien people, and they're not like us, they have different cultural differences. They're totally different from us. They don't see
Yeah.
young as their own. It's just eggs or whatever. We're fucked. If they have the technology to come here and do those sort of things, like the Earth at the moment can't handle COVID. How do we handle being invaded from an outside source?
I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I know that Australia lost a war to emus. So I can say that we as a country would definitely be fucked, to say the least.
What if emus are aliens?
I mean, I've tried to capture an emu before and transport it for my auntie. They're pretty nutso, and the thing's name was Gronk, and he was a bit of a
Gronk.
Gronk, but
Yeah.
I think that's a bit far fetched.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, crackpot theory. Let's start
Pretty
that
much.
conspiracy. Let's start it. Emus are aliens. All I know is the truth is out there.
I agree. So that brings us to the end of this podcast episode on topics and tantrums of aliens, UFOs, bullshit, or real, like real. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um, you can find us on our social media sites at
Topics and tantrums
mhm,
on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Castbox, and Anchor.
that is correct. When this episode does go live, we will put up a post on Facebook with the links to all the videos that we've spoken about. If you know anything about the story that I've been talking about, please share it. If you want to continue on with this, if you like what you've heard in this episode and you want us to keep talking about it, or you want to join us on an episode of aliens or anything else, let us know. Hit us up in the DMs. We'll have you on.
If you have been abducted by an alien, maybe you don't want to talk about it, but DM me. We can have a chat. That'd
Exactly.
be pretty
If
cool.
even if you don't want to talk about it, but you give us permission to talk about it, it'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rad. Just to hear your experience. I don't want to hear about
Exactly.
weird stuff, but like if you have an encounter or you want to talk about anything relating to it,
Mhm.
we're all ears. I want to know your theories. Bring it on.
Exactly. But
Have
until
a
next
tantrum.
time, we'll see you later,
Latest.
haters.